Coming up on AgweekTV, we'll have tips for cattle producers to avoid fraud.
I'll tell you about one of the healthiest, fastest growing berries in the Midwest.
On the Soil Health Minute, I'll give you some information on a new winter annual cover crop.
And cattle futures prices try to recover after hitting 10-year lows. Welcome to AgweekTV. I'm Michelle Rook. The floodwaters are receding in South Dakota, but the cleanup and damage assessment continues after historic rains and river flooding. Wednesday, Governor Kristi Noem announced President Trump has approved the state's request for a second presidential disaster declaration. Near Madison, Roger Schruppel received 12.3 inches of rain in 3 days. He says the water was nearly 2 feet above the levels in the 1993 flood. Some of his fields, including these soybeans, are a complete loss.
They're drowned. The beans just couldn't take it, too much water. Corn, I haven't walked out in the field yet, but the beans, when you drive around, they're black and they're done. So corn I'm hopeful for. I think we'll be okay there.
Schruppel says he's still optimistic his corn will make 150 bushel per acre, but bean yields will be cut, especially compared to last year.
Beans, I was hoping 45 to 50. Now, if I count the fields that are drowned, the areas that are drowned, I think I can get 40.
Schruppel says he took prevented plant on 600 of the 3,600 acres he farms, but unfortunately he mudded the rest of the crop in, which will also hurt yields. He also has land by Lake Thompson and says 180 acres are now part of the lake. Despite lower commodity prices and net farm income the last several years, farm land values have cooled off only slightly from the record highs. In the last few years in states like Iowa, they've been moving sideways. Iowa State land expert Michael Duffy says their 2018 survey showed statewide values at around $7,300. That's down $62 per acre from 2017. He says prices have held up well because farmers had money to buy land after the ag boom. Plus, land is still a good investment. However, he fears values could soften if the geopolitical uncertainty continues.
The political situation, instability, if we don't get more of a clear-cut message on the tariffs and what's going to happen there, this all gets translated into land values.
Duffy says while lower interest rates support land values, he's concerned about the negative impact of the ballooning debt and deficit. Cattle producers are used to making deals on a handshake, but in a bad economy, that's a big risk. In fact, experts say farmers and ranchers should do more to protect themselves on every deal. Jenny Schlecht has more in this week's cover story.
In this poor ag economy, fraud is a growing problem. So producers got advice on protecting their investment at the North Dakota Stockmen's Association convention in Minot. Lawyer and cattle producer Todd Wilkinson says the best strategy is to back up your handshake deal.
Get it in writing and then get security, because oftentimes when people are coming into my office, everything's been done in a handshake. The only people that are going to make money in that situation are the lawyers. Do it right on the front end.
Sometimes people do things to try and make it through tough financial situations they wouldn't do otherwise.
Chelsea Good is the Vice President of Legal Affairs at the Livestock Marketing Association. She says recent high-profile cattle fraud cases are drawing attention to the need for a dealer trust to protect producers.
Right now, when a livestock market or a producer sells to a livestock dealer and they don't get a check or they get a insufficient funds check, they don't have the ability to get those cattle back, and we don't think that's right.
One case playing out right now involves South Dakota cattle dealer Robert Blum. He's accused of running a multi-million-dollar scheme of reselling the same cattle multiple times. He also faces bad check charges. Lynn Paulson of Bell Bank says producers need to manage risk.
And part of that risk is knowing who you're doing business with, number one, having good upfront agreements to know what, to manage downside risks.
Paulson says doing a little homework and working with your lender to manage risk can go a long way in protecting your business.
At the end of the day, our goal is the same, and that's to be successful and turn a profit.
In Minot, this is Jenny Schlecht for Ag Week.
You can read more in the next Ag Week magazine or at agweek.com. The cattle market is recovering after hitting 10-year lows just 2 weeks ago and dropping the nearby live cattle futures below $100. Low prices have been a double whammy for producers who have faced extreme weather this year. Will the cattle market continue to heal from red ink, or will the industry lose more producers? I talked to industry leaders to get the answer. Cattle prices were under pressure all summer with bigger supplies, trade uncertainty, and fund-long liquidation. But the final straw was the August fire at Tyson's largest plant in Holcomb, Kansas.
It kills 6,000 head a day, so that's 30,000 head of cattle a week, which roughly covers 5 to 6% of our total national cattle slaughter.
I had a chance to talk to officials at Tyson about the fire in Holcomb. They hope to be up and running again by the beginning of the year and sooner if they can.
The concerns about packer capacity and cattle backing up recently forced spot cattle futures prices to 10-year lows.
It couldn't come at a worse time. You know, there's a lot of cattle for sale at this point in time, and just a tremendous amount of equity drain. I mean, it's well over $100 a head of equity drain.
Since then, other plants have been picking up some of the capacity, but there are questions about how long that's sustainable, especially considering labor.
It's really important that they stay aggressive on the Saturday kills.
Beef packers are being incentivized with record profits, but that has also prompted a USDA investigation on market manipulation.
It's definitely something we should be taking a look at, because when packers are making so much per head and the cow-calf guys aren't, it really does cause concern.
With cattle producers already beat up after a tough winter and spring flooding, few can sustain more losses.
I've talked to several people actually who either want to reduce the size of their cow herd or just get out entirely.
And there are mixed views on the outlook for cattle prices ahead.
I look for us to move out of this thing in the fourth quarter, and I look for a sharp rally here December, January.
It's hard to be very enthusiastic about telling, I can believe in 110 or 120 cattle again. It's just hard to see that right now.
The latest cattle on feed report may provide some optimism on supply, as placements were only 91% of a year ago. Coming up on AgweekTV,
I'll tell you why these little purple berries are growing in popularity in our area.
Big Boy Toys. Nothing holds more promise than a seed. And when it comes from Peterson Farm Seed, it's backed with a promise from us. We'll sell no seed we wouldn't be happy to plant on our own farm, so that growers like Mark can keep a promise of his own, to teach his kids how to care for the land, their family, and their community, and build a future that extends generations. Grow your promise. Grow Peterson Farm Seed.
With the all-new GreenFit system from Reichart, plug-and-play is finally a reality when using John Deere AutoTrack guidance with existing new products like the Challenger 1000 series or all-new C-Series Rogators from Butler Machinery. GreenFit is an authorized navigation interface that utilizes existing John Deere AutoTrack guidance systems to steer most Challenger tractors and sprayers. GreenFit eliminates the worry of learning and converting to a new steering system when buying an industry-leading Challenger from Butler Machinery. Learn more about GreenFit at butlermachinery.com/greenfit.
At Superior Grain Equipment, we're committed to quality and service, offering you the best in grain storage and dryers for any size operation. Our experts will work with you to determine the most efficient and economical storage solution for your needs. We help protect your bottom line and your future with the industry's best bins and warranties. Make the superior choice for protection today and tomorrow with Superior Grain Equipment.
One of the things that Mosaic does really well is focuses on balanced crop nutrition in the premium products that we design. And one of those products is Micro Essentials, but it provides in every single granule a nitrogen, phosphorus, sulfur, in some cases zinc. We added sulfur and zinc with Micro Essentials because sulfur is one of the most deficient nutrients and zinc is the most deficient micronutrient. So our goal is balanced crop nutrition and being able to provide those products to the farmers in the world today.
During the farm crisis of the 1980s, 1 in 4 farms failed. Today, many fear another farm crisis is forming. In the third of a multi-part series comparing then and now, Nicole Pates talked with a retired ag lender who had a front row seat to the 1980s ag crisis.
In the 1980s, economics and politics teamed up to deliver a 1-2 punch to farmers. The 1980 Russian grain embargo cut off a crucial wheat market, while interest rates were climbing as high as 20%.
If you're paying 15 to 20% interest, it really snowballs quickly if you have much debt. So the main strategies were to reduce debt, and the best way to reduce debt was to sell stuff.
Ken Knutson was just starting his career as an ag lender in Rugby, North Dakota, as the crisis started around the country. In 1980, he moved to a PCA post in Fargo. That's when he learned how bad things were getting.
It was a surprise to me, first of all, because the farms at Rugby were a lot smaller and more, I'd say, more conservative. But when I came to Fargo, there were already quite a few operations with significant losses.
It only got worse through the early 80s, but Knutson says some good did come of the crisis, including the Ag Credit Act of 1987 and other credit reforms.
The banks that weren't part of the Farm Credit System or FSA didn't have those laws written in, but they did it too when they needed to because it made sense, and it got people through.
Eventually, interest rates came down and crop prices and yields came up. Today, many farmers are in better shape than they were then, and the percentage of them in trouble is much lower. Knutson says farmers have more options for help today, and he urges them to seek it sooner rather than later. This is Mikkel Pates for Ag Week.
And you can read much more in the next Ag Week magazine or at agweek.com. It's a little berry that packs a healthier antioxidant punch than any other berry on the market. But although Aronia berries are native to North America, they've only been grown in the U.S. for a few years. Emma Vattenstall has more on this powerful purple berry.
We put ours with our yogurt in the morning or oatmeal. They produce compounds that help reduce inflammation in your body. A lot of the research comes from Eastern Europe because these have been used for a very long time there.
Native to the United States, Aronia berries have grown in popularity in the past decade.
Nebraska and Iowa is one of the biggest areas where they're growing, but we have either 70 or 90 acres of Aronia here in North Dakota. Including all the other states, there's about 1,800 acres of Aronia.
To celebrate their first harvest of the berries, the Nelson Farm in Aronia, North Dakota recently hosted a festival featuring chefs and vendors using the berries in their creations.
Put your hands up if you like those Aronia berries, come on!
The Nelson Aronia Berry Farm has over 33,000 Aronia berry plants, almost a quarter of all of the acres grown in North Dakota.
My dad's got COPD, trying to find something that helped out with that. A friend of his offered him some juice from his own farm, and we decided we could probably grow it ourselves and try to do something with them.
The flavor of the berries is unique, but the health benefits can't be denied. In addition to helping fight off inflammation, they're high in antioxidants as well as polyphenols, which can provide a brain boost and aid in memory function.
It's very healthy, it's low cost, and it's just something that I think should be in everybody's daily diet.
In Aronia, North Dakota, this is Emma Vattenstall for Ag Week.
An Aronia berry harvester can cost from $40,000 all the way up to $500,000 for a self-propelled model. Still ahead on AgweekTV, South Dakota cattle producers had a bigger and better presence at this year's Sanford International Golf Tournament.
And on the Soil Health Minute, we'll talk about another option for overwintering cover crops.
How can one tillage tool handle most field conditions, residue types, and tillage practices? It takes a Renegade, the Summers VRT Renegade. Switch from vertical to aggressive tillage and anywhere in between. Adjust blade angles, tillage depth, and more on the go, all from an iPad. Get the tillage results you want, like only the Summers VRT Renegade can. For more information or a demo, contact your Summers dealer.
Dynaflow is the ultimate high-volume water management pump. Whether you're experiencing flooding, emptying sloughs, transferring ponds, or working on irrigation, the Dynaflow pump works in as little as 18 inches of water and is designed to move 3,000 gallons per minute. The Dynaflow pump features neoprene-lined turbine bearings backed up with a sand collar to prevent debris and grit, all to assure your pump keeps working season after season. Find out more at dynaflowpump.com.
Mayo Manufacturing, your Red River Valley source for Batco. Mayo Manufacturing, your Red River Valley Badco dealer.
This is Dennis Belisky reminding you we do auctions and we do them well. You've built your operation with hard work, and when it's time to sell, all or part, you deserve the best. Details from repairs and preparation to promotion and settlements are not routine. Chances are you'll only do this once, so we'll tailor an auction just for you and get it done right. On site at your farm or added to one of our highly successful Alaris Center auctions, we have the skill, reputation, and integrity to meet your needs with best-in-class commitment and quality service. Find us at resourceauction.com or call 701-757-4015.
Martinson Ag Risk Management offers a variety of crop marketing and crop insurance packages to our customers. With over 40 years of experience, our dedicated staff works hard to ensure you get the best advice on crop insurance, marketing, and risk management. Contact Randy or any of the staff at Martinson Ag Risk Management today at 701-205-4200 or visit us online at martinsonag.com. The Ag Week Soil Health Minute is sponsored by the North Dakota Corn Council and the North Dakota Soybean Council.
There are only 2 cover crops that stand a chance of overwintering reliably in the region. One is cereal rye. In this Soil Health Minute, Abby Wick takes a look at the other option, winter camelina.
You've heard me talk a lot about cereal rye as an option for an overwintering cover crop. Well, NDSU is exploring a new option in a broadleaf called winter camelina. So I want to show you what this looks like so that you can see how it might fit into your operation. So one of the benefits of using something like winter camelina is that it does overwinter and you get the water usage in the spring. So really with winter camelina, if you seed it later in the year, it's actually better for it because it doesn't like heat. It's an option to seed it after soybean harvest prior to corn. And so that's really great in a season where we're pushed towards the end with harvest, where days are getting shorter and nights are getting cooler. So camelina may be a really good option for us in this region. Another nice benefit is it has a nice deep taproot because it's in the brassica family, and that can help you capture nutrients and bring it back up to the surface. The other great thing about camelina is that it stays low to the surface as a rosette in the fall, and then it starts growing taller in the spring. So if it was something you needed to underseed, that may be a good option in your crops. Because camelina is so new to our region, seed sources are limited. So if you want to try this on your farm, please contact me and I'll get you the information you need to be successful.
The weather pattern is looking cool and wet, but will we see our first frost soon? Here's John with our AgriWeather Outlook.
Weather portion of Ag Week now. This agricultural season, boy, September, the harvest season is things are going in many parts the way they started out, with just rain after rain after rain. Many parts of the northern plains, upper Midwest are just too wet. However, the forecast going forward will withdraw from that a bit. We won't go dry though. We're just going to introduce a little more showery weather, not quite the soakings that we've had in most areas. Heat is building across the south. We'll take a look at that. Here's the upper level wind pattern, ridging finally going up into the Pacific Northwest, but not too much into Alaska. Alaska's been a little colder. That creates some sense of normal activity around the country. There is, however, an eastern United States ridge, which is resulting in some pretty hot weather for the end of September and early October across the southeastern United States. Cool weather has penetrated the northern Rockies. There may be more than one round of snow in Montana this week. More on that in just a minute. And I don't really anticipate the hot and warm weather through the eastern United States really leaving. As far as the Corn Belt goes, it'll go from warmer than average to near average, but the really hot stuff is going to stay mostly in the south. Moving into the second full week of October, the general shape of things won't change too much. It may flatten a bit, which will probably cause the heat to gradually relax through mid-October. Northern Rockies will remain cool and the warmth will gradually subside. So this week, though, we're looking at some pretty heavy weather throughout the upper Midwest, especially from Iowa into southern Minnesota. Could see more significant rainfall that will gradually fade toward just some scattered showers into the second week of the month of October. The West Coast relatively dry, the Southeast and the East Coast both warm and dry for most of the next couple of weeks.
Luckin Trucks and Parts sells quality used parts for all makes and models. With over 50 acres of trucks and parts and new inventory arriving daily. Family owned and operated since 1966, Luckins specializes in the sale of quality used medium to heavy-duty truck parts as well as pre-owned trucks, trailers, and construction equipment. If it's on a truck, we got it. Call us today and let us get you your part.
With the success of the Case IH Steiger Quad Track and Magnum Road Track tractors, it's no secret why Case IH is the leader of the track. So it wasn't surprising when the competition started imitating us. But only Case IH offers a 5-axle design to give you a smoother ride, more power to the ground, with less berming and compaction. Still, we're flattered. In fact, if we weren't already red, we'd be blushing.
Steffes Group, selling land and the equipment to farm it since 1960. If you're interested in selling or have questions about our auction process, head to our website at steffesgroup.com to contact us at any one of our 4 locations located throughout the Midwest. You can also visit and subscribe to our YouTube channel to view all of our auction previews and recaps to stay up to date on the market in your area.
It's the perfect time to get ready for harvest, and North Star Ag has the equipment you need to keep things running smoothly this season. We have a great selection of augers from Meridian and Wheatheart, as well as Batco and Unitube conveyors. Uptime is crucial. Keep your crew in the field longer with a fuel trailer from Thunder Creek. And don't forget, North Star Ag has Meridian hopper bins for any size operation. See our complete new and used equipment inventory at northstarag.com or give us a call.
Mother Nature doesn't always cooperate. So when conditions are right, be ready with genuine Case IH parts from Titan Machinery. Only genuine Case IH parts are engineered to keep your equipment running at peak efficiency when you're running around the clock. Don't risk your bottom line with off-brand parts that don't meet the same standards. Visit your local Titan Machinery dealership today to find out why genuine Case IH parts offer the best value and performance for your operation.
South Dakota cattle producers promoted their product to professional golfers and fans from across the country at the Sanford International Golf Tournament in Sioux Falls. The South Dakota Beef Industry Council greatly expanded the ranch destination hospitality area at the senior PGA event. They grilled up hundreds of free steak sandwiches to show the important role of beef in the diet, especially for older Americans.
Here we are in a pro tour and a golf. I mean, these guys are over 50. And it's very important, as active as they are, to have a great source of protein in their diet.
They also shared their gate-to-plate production story with spectators through a virtual reality station and talked about what they do directly with consumers. The 59th Annual Beef Bowl was held at South Dakota State University in Brookings last weekend. The event recognizes cattle producers in South Dakota and the region for the contribution they make to the economy. Beef Bowl included a tailgate competition with prizes for signature beef dishes. Thousands of dollars were also raised for student scholarships through the barbecue and auctioning of beef bundles.
This is an outstanding opportunity for South Dakota State University to support our biggest commodity group in the state, and that is the beef industry.
First Dakota National Bank was named Friend of the Beef Industry. The Jackrabbit football team won the game, defeating Southern Utah. Still ahead on AgweekTV, you're never too old to learn. Some advice from a 102-year-old farmer.
How can one tillage tool handle most field conditions, residue types, and tillage practices? It takes a Renegade, the Summers VRT Renegade. Switch from vertical to aggressive tillage and anywhere in between. Adjust blade angles, tillage depth, and more on the go, all from an iPad. Get the tillage results you want, like only the Summers VRT Renegade can. For more information or a demo, contact your Summers dealer.
AgWeek is excited to bring you the AgWeek app with useful features and the latest news and information right at your fingertips. Get your AgWeek news, weather, and the latest episodes of AgweekTV. Plus, see real-time information on the futures market and view local cash bids for your crops. Stay updated and take AgWeek with you wherever you are. Download the AgWeek app today.
Where do you go for the latest news in agriculture? AgWeek magazine. Reaching over 70,000 farmers and ranchers in North Dakota, Minnesota, South Dakota, and Montana. Agweek provides the most up-to-date information on the markets, the trends, and the people who make it all happen. We're your source for news, not fluff. Dependable, trusted, Agweek. Subscribe today by calling 1-800-811-2580.
I'm Jenny Garth, and as a mother of 3, I know kids worry about a lot of things. Getting enough food to eat shouldn't be one of them. But here in America, that is a real worry for 1 in 5 children. Even though we are one of the most food-rich countries in the world, 15 million children don't know where their next meal is coming from. This is unacceptable, and something the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks is working to solve. Instead of accepting that our country lets billions of pounds of surplus food go to waste every year, Feeding America has made it their mission to help families in need by rescuing this food. Through food pantries and meal programs, the nationwide network of food banks provides more than 3 billion meals, serving virtually every community in the United States, including yours. Join me in supporting Feeding America and your local food bank by visiting feedingamerica.org. Together we can solve hunger. Together, we're feeding America.
AgweekTV Soy Insight, brought to you by the North Dakota Soybean Council.
Products from soy touch our lives in countless ways every day, and we may not even realize it. Much of the soy produced in the U.S. goes into high-protein animal feed and a quality vegetable protein for people as well. While soy oil is the most commonly used vegetable oil in the U.S., it's also a clean, renewable resource with uses far beyond food and feed. Soy innovation took off in the mid-1980s with the development of a cleaner printing ink, and new products continue to be developed. In addition to being used in biodiesel, components of soy can replace petroleum and other non-renewable ingredients in many industrial and consumer products, ranging from tires to toys.
That's what we're finding with a lot of the new uses for soybean oil, is that it's not just it's a greener alternative, it's a better product. It's specifically designed for whichever use they want to use it for, and because they're dialing it in that specifically, they're getting a better product.
Much of the soy research is funded by checkoff dollars. You're never too old to learn something new. Those words of wisdom come from longtime farmer Earl Mollinger. We caught up with him at Big Iron earlier this month. He says he likes to go to ag shows to learn more about farming. Earl started in 1931, helping his dad on the farm when he was 14 years old. So yes, that makes him 102 years old. He still farms with some help. Earl decided to tile his land about 12 years ago at age 90. He says it worked so well, he wanted to stop and visit the company that did the work.
Putting tiling, I don't think twice about that, because when I'm done and I'm gone, they still will have that in their land. Is worth that much more when you're going to rent it out.
Earl says he isn't thinking about retiring from farming, but he did give up golf last year. Thanks for watching this week's edition of AgweekTV. Remember, for all your ag news, go to agweek.com or download the AgWeek app, and be sure to follow us on Facebook and Twitter as well. We'll see you next week.